Morning everybody, how are y'all doing today? I'm doing pretty great myself, honestly, and in case you didn't see my community poll, I know I was supposed to have this video up yesterday, but my roommate got injured at the gym. I guess it was leg day gone wrong or something like that, and basically he had to stay inside for most of the day, and just basically I didn't want to disturb him, and also it's a little weird to have an audience when you're recording. So that's why this video got delayed today, and I will have my video on the PlayStation Fanboy Who Hates Game Pass up tomorrow. And then after that, we got a video covering JTech's horribly aged video on Death Stranding not coming to VC. But anyway, today, in case you guys missed my community poll, and I mean, you could probably tell off the title, but we are going to be talking about a Nintendo fanboy who is still salty over the Steam Deck all these months later. And he is the same one that I've covered in the past. In fact, I think this is the only Nintendo fanboy I've ever covered on my channel, so I think that should tell you a lot about the guy we're taking a look at. But anyway, without too much more of an intro, I already kept you guys waiting an extra day, so let's get into the video.
Hello everyone, this is Cody Lee of BlackCatBooks.org, author of I the Dragon, Cruel and Beautiful, Rabbit Hole, King Dio, Lauren Prey, Grim Clover, Internet Bloodsports, and the upcoming Jaw of the Dragon. So, Review Tech USA made an interesting statement on live stream yesterday evening, I believe it was. When did I watch this? It was like 4 or 5 o'clock. I have no idea what it was. So I tune in for 5 seconds to ask him why he hates Nintendo so much. And he's talking about the Steam Deck.
Well, I mean, can you really blame him for hating Nintendo? Nintendo's probably the scummiest company in all of gaming right now, besides Activision Blizzard. But yeah, I mean, you could say like, oh, EA is really bad, you know, Sony's kind of anti-consumer, Microsoft has been letting their IPs go to crap. But the thing about Nintendo is they seem to be actually evil at this point. Remember the whole Etika thing where they were making the Joy-Con skins to support like a suicide prevention charity, and then Nintendo shut that down? Also remember when Nintendo shut down that Melee tournament because they were using an emulator instead of an official copy of the game? Like, Nintendo just has the crappiest practices, I feel like. I mean, yeah, EA, you know, they copy-paste Madden, they kill off single-player games and stuff, but Nintendo actually, like, affects people in the real world outside of video games. So, yeah, I can't really blame him.
Specifically, the reality of the Steam Deck. Specifically the fact that it can't run Halo Infinite at the frame rate that he wants. It's like under 30 FPS or something. He's calling it like unoptimized. He's saying it doesn't run well. He uninstalled Halo Infinite. Updates don't help. The game just seems completely unplayable on Steam Deck.
Yeah, and that's probably because Halo Infinite is optimized like garbage. Like, yeah, the Steam Deck is technically underpowered, but it's still more powerful than the base Xbox One, and that console runs Halo Infinite. Halo Infinite's optimization on PC is a special type of awful. Like, don't get me wrong, I enjoyed the campaign, I enjoyed multiplayer for at least a little while until it got super dry, but my god, I have a 3070 Ti and a Ryzen 9 3900X, and I was running the game on like medium settings, and I could barely get in the campaign above 80 FPS, and in multiplayer like above 110, which I know that doesn't sound bad, but for my build and for the type of game that Halo is, it should not be running that poorly, especially since it's not like super visually impressive. It looks decent, don't get me wrong, but it's not like blowing anything out of the water.
At least that's like the gist of what I understood from him. Of what I understood him to be saying. So this was a really interesting tidbit for me to hear, because first of all,
what do you think he's gonna say, guys? Is he gonna say, oh yeah, Halo Infinite's super unoptimized, they need to fix it, it's been almost a year since the game came out, Microsoft needs to get their crap together? Or do you think he's gonna try to twist this into this being a Steam Deck problem? I don't know, I guess we'll have to find out.
This is Rich pulling back the curtain a little bit, talking a little bit about the problems of the Steam Deck.
Damn, who could have seen that one coming?
A platform that was supposedly going to be the next iPhone. Like, that was ridiculous when he said it. But now, like, seeing him, one of the big arguments in favor of the Steam Deck was that it was going to be it was going to be able to play the games that the Switch would be too weak to handle. But
my guy, I don't know why you're doing air quotes. It is an objective fact that the Switch is too weak to run a lot of third-party games nowadays. That's why they don't release on there. There is quite literally no other reason why third-party games don't release on the Switch besides the Switch cannot run them.
With Halo Infinite not running well, confirmed to not be running well by a supposed tech expert at Review Tech USA, like, that narrative is dead. And
so let me get this straight. Because one game on the Steam Deck is not well optimized and doesn't run well on it, that means that the Nintendo Switch is powerful enough to run those same games. I must say, 10 out of 10 logic there, but seriously, what kind of logic is this? How in denial do you have to be to somehow take that because a game can run on another platform, but not your platform? That means that your platform is better than the other platform. Because even if Halo Infinite doesn't run very well on the Steam Deck, guess what? It still runs on the Steam Deck, and you can still play it over there. Guess where you don't even have the option to play it? That's right, the Nintendo Switch, because it cannot run it because it is too weak.
I am well aware that's also the case with like a wide variety of other games, especially those that are emulated. People who are saying that like they're emulating Switch games like before launch date are full of shit. You know, like lots of people are getting called out for this on 4chan.
Okay, who the hell is claiming that they're emulating Nintendo games before they even come out? That is obviously a complete lie. Also, of course, this guy goes on 4chan, just of course.
Like, I saw a comment the other day where someone like tried to start like a Steam Deck emulation thread. What are you decking? And then like somebody pointed out, like, why are you in the very first room of the game? Like, it becomes like readily obvious that it's not possible to get past like certain sections of the game, get past the first room or the title screen even without like the game crashing or like having some kind of stuttering or...
I mean, I know nothing about emulation personally, so I can't really speak too much about it, but from what I've heard, the Steam Deck is an emulation powerhouse. I've heard nothing but good things about emulation on the Steam Deck, so I don't really know where this is coming from. If that's the case, then oh well, I guess I was wrong, but I highly doubt it, especially given this man just said that the Switch was powerful enough to run Halo Infinite.
Some major issues that make the experience not worthwhile at all, and it inferior to the legitimate Nintendo Switch version. All right, like, people don't want to admit this, but Nintendo Switch is superior to Steam Deck.
I'm pretty sure the only way the Switch is superior to the Steam Deck is in terms of price, but then again, the only reason the price is better is because the console is less powerful. And before somebody says, oh, well, actually, you know, you can only play Nintendo exclusives on the Nintendo Switch, a console having exclusive games does not make that console better. What makes consoles good is features, power, price, accessibility, compatibility with different hardware, and like I just said, the only area which the Switch beats the Steam Deck in is price.
And currently we're kind of in that like denial phase, I think, where like steampunks, the deckers or whatever the fuck they're calling themselves now, like they are in complete denial about the fact that the Steam Deck is a failure.
My dude, I don't think anyone's in denial over the Steam Deck being a failure because that thing has been a roaring success. I think you are the one in denial over how it's been a success. Because what was it? Didn't Valve recently just ramp up their manufacturing process just so they could keep up with, you know, the pre-orders of the Steam Deck? Or not pre-order, but like, you know, how back-ordered the thing is? And even with ramping up production, it is still in back order. You're probably not going to be able to just find Steam Decks sitting on shelves or readily available to buy without having to wait until like 2023, maybe even 2024. So to call this thing a failure is pure denial on your part.
Sales aren't impressive. Software retention isn't impressive. Its library is not impressive. It can't play all the games on Steam.
Yeah, like I just said, this thing is sold out until what, like the end of this year or something like that? Maybe even into 2023? Also, what the hell is software retention? Like, what does that even mean? Could someone please explain that to me if it's like an actual thing or if he's just being an idiot? Also, you can play all the games on Steam, you just have to install Windows on your Steam Deck first. And even if you're still gonna run with Linux, which it comes with by default, it can still play most of the games on Steam.
And I think that's a really big thing, that like the Steam Deck, a platform that was supposed to be like a handheld gaming PC that can play every Steam game on the go, cannot run everything on Steam. You're not even getting into like the emulation or like the piracy or any of the weird shit people are doing. No, like you will not be able to play every game that's on Steam on your Steam Deck, and I think that's like downright pathetic.
No, bud, this video is downright pathetic. But like I just said, all you need to do is install Windows on your Steam Deck, and then you can play every single game. Which this guy would know if he did a 5-second Google search, but something tells me he did and just didn't want to include it in the video because it wouldn't have proved his point.
Honestly. Like, really? Valve couldn't have released a console, a platform that could run everything currently on Steam? I don't understand where was the logic in that, and I also don't understand why it's not something that's like become controversial in the community, because
I mean, hear me out, bud. If you're the only one who's bringing up an issue and nobody else agrees with it, maybe there's a reason for that, because for the third time now, all you have to do is install Windows on your Steam Deck and then you can play every single game. If you could not do this, then it would be a big issue. If you have a thought and then you're wondering why it's not super controversial, maybe do some research on it before you sit down and record and spout a bunch of ignorance about it.
It is true. It is like the reality of the situation. The Steam Deck cannot compete with Nintendo Switch. It doesn't have like the capacity to run emulators or to like run the big AAA games. There's no reason to own one over a much more affordable Nintendo Switch.
First of all, it definitely does have the capacity to run emulators, otherwise people wouldn't be praising how good it is at emulation. Also, it can run the big AAA games. Also, that last part about there's no reason to own one over a much more affordable Nintendo Switch. It's only 33% more expensive and has way more games, way more features, and is way more powerful. The only reason to own a Switch anymore, and pretty much the only reason there's ever been to own a Switch, is A, if you want the portability on certain games, and B, to play the exclusive games. Nintendo's exclusives are the only thing keeping the Switch afloat right now. I guarantee if those games were getting released on other platforms, the Switch would sell nowhere near as well.
With its own exclusive lineup of games, there's no reason to own a Steam Deck. Like, if you need to play Steam, like your ideal choice would be your own gaming PC.
I mean, yeah, if you want, like, you know, the way higher frame rates, and you also just need a computer to, like, do work and stuff, then yeah, by all means, you should definitely, like, shoot for a gaming PC. But that's what's great about the Steam Deck. It's an extremely affordable gaming PC, and it's portable. Quite honestly, if you were gonna go for, like, a gaming laptop, but you couldn't find too many super affordable ones, maybe the Steam Deck would be the way to go, because you can hook it up to external monitors and TVs, and you can use a keyboard and mouse on it.
Like, the Steam Deck, from the get-go, seemed like a piece of hardware that was designed to like annoy Nintendo fans, right? Like that's kind of what this all boils down to, is that like PC gamers were salty that like Nintendo fans were like going out, meeting girls with their Switches, and while they stayed home and jacked off to hentai, whatever, on their like $2,000 gaming rigs, right?
I'm sorry, can we back up a second here? PC gamers were jealous of Nintendo Switch gamers because they were going out with their Switches and meeting girls, and meanwhile PC gamers were sitting at home, you know, having me time, I guess is how I'm gonna say that. What the hell is going on anymore? No joke, I've been doing YouTube for what, 9 months now, and I think this is the most confused I've been out of what, like the 70 videos I've uploaded or whatever.
Like, they were jealous. They were salty. So they just really tried to hype this thing up, try to meme it into relevancy, and it just didn't work.
And clearly it didn't need to either.
And that it's kind of curious to me because it really does feel like PC gaming, the steampunks, like they are like a dying breed. I don't understand why anyone would pay for a game on Steam when you could like get a proper copy on Nintendo Switch. You have the option for like physical, you have like more versatility.
My dude, if someone's gonna buy a Steam Deck or a gaming PC, I don't think they're too worried about having physical games. I mean, yeah, physical's a nice option to have, but isn't like 85 or 87% of the gaming market digital now or something like that? Like, aren't less and less physical products being bought every year? I could be wrong about that, but I'm pretty sure it was in like the 80s or something. Like 80% of people bought their games digitally.
You have like better variety of choice, like a selection of games. Like there was no reason really to prefer PC over Switch unless you're a blind, dedicated Valve fan.
I know this man did not just say that the Switch can play more games than the Steam Deck. Thank God this video's over. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. Basically, what we learned today is the Switch is better than the Steam Deck because the Switch can't play as many games as the Steam Deck. And apparently, because Halo Infinite is unoptimized, that means that the Nintendo Switch's hardware is better than the Steam Deck's. You really can't make this up. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. Like the video if you liked it, dislike it if you didn't like it, subscribe if you want to see more, and I will catch you all next time.